Live from my mother's basement. It's another episode. Your host, Johnny! I know you guys are all paying to see this, and I thank you for your continued support. Uh, so, this is going to be kind of like a double-header Raw review and a TLC kind of thoughts, afterthoughts, if you will. First of all, let me say this about TLC. WE, they didn't fail miserably. Okay, normally I like to look at things from an optimistic standpoint, and if I can say anything good about WWE last night, I guess they attempted to give the fans what they wanted, or at least, some of the fans. My biggest problem with TLC is that I think it tried to accomplish a lot, and it did so without giving anything sufficient hype. This was a really badly built pay-per-view to begin with. I feel that Hell in a Cell had a bigger build than this, and Hell in a Cell only had 2 weeks to work with, whereas, TLC had a full month. I don't think that the Slammy Awards being before TLC helped their cause at all. And that's kind of a downer, when you have in a 3-hour event like TLC, or like the Slammies, you could have really, I'm falling asleep here, I think. It's been too long, me studying for final exam. Anyway, getting back on track, when you have a 3-hour special like TLC, I just fucking did it again. Look at me. Look at my eyes, I'm something dazed. The Slammy Awards, yeah, that's what we're talking about. It was a 3-hour event. They could have done so much more to hype for this TLC thing. I really felt like they waited to the last fucking possible minute to start putting shit together for this pay-per-view. And, make of that what you will. I'm not going to break down match by match because you've seen everybody else's reviews by now. And I want to say, though, that overall, for it being a filler pay-per-view and everything, it was going to get a filler pay-per-view grade from me to begin with. I ended up giving it a C- at the very end. If you want details about that, just ask me. Other than that, there's no reason to go on for 15-20 minutes about what I, supremely liked or disliked. TLC did what it was supposed to do with Cody Rhodes, which was put him over. Zack Ryder is your new U.S. champion. That was, pretty much the idea going in there, that they were going to take the belt off of Dolph, and, it was going to be time for him to move on to bigger, better things. And whether or not you feel like that's too soon, or, you're not a Dolph Ziggler fan, to each their own. But, it was good because it was a really stale title around him. He didn't have a whole lot going for him, and it's good to see Ryder in a program where at least he can get some more exposure on television and stuff. So, be that, what it was. Punk retained, which was nice because, if they would have put the title around him and then not had him hold it, that would have been really shitty. The Daniel Bryan incident, we won't even get into that right now because it's a whole different topic, and it's something that I've been talking about all day on the Facebook and Twitter and all that shit. Raw tonight. I thought Raw was pretty good, to be honest. I really liked the way that they opened the show. Now, personally, I thought that they were going to find some loophole to screw Daniel Bryan out of his title, because when the crowd started making all that noise after he cut his little speech about winning last night, I thought that it was fucking Laurinaitis or Teddy Long or somebody coming out to be like, hey, Big Show kicked out, or hey, Big Show wasn't conscious, to beat him. So, I had all sorts of thoughts in my head and prefabricated, I guess, scenarios worked out where they were just going to screw him. But all in all, it is what it is. The guy is your world heavyweight champion, and let's not throw stones in glass houses until we see what they do with it. Let's try not to bury the guy's push if he's going to get one. I know that I haven't been a very prominent Daniel Bryan supporter in recent history because I just feel like his build was absolute bullshit. But, obviously he's got appeal, You know, he's got a lot of Ring of Honor people and indie fans behind him, and a lot of pure wrestling fans seem to really like him because he's a pure wrestler. The only problem I have with the whole thing is that I feel like, you know, he really shouldn't have won Money in the Bank to begin with, but it's for a different video entirely. I really liked the main event. I really liked how the opening segment built to the main event. And I also liked the Royal Rumble advertisement during the show. And via, you know, what it is, you know, even if it's silly with Santino looking into a crystal ball to predict the winner, I'm excited for the Royal Rumble. I always am. I'm going to sneeze. Bear with me here. Alright. Shit. So, we got a match. It was a rematch between Orton and Barrett. Barrett got himself disqualified in typical heel fashion. I honestly thought he should have just won the match, but, I mean, maybe he'll win at the next pay-per-view, you know, so that'll be cool. I don't want to see Randy Orton in the Royal Rumble, personally, because I don't want him to even have, you know, a remote possibility to win the thing. You know, because I don't want to see... I want to see somebody that hasn't won it, or somebody, like, make a big return, like a Jericho, or somebody come back and have it be surprising. I don't want it to be somebody that we've already seen, you know, in the title picture all this year. So, you know, that would be cool with me. You know, when Barrett put him through the table after the match, I really thought that it took way too long to do, but I was happy that it got done, and I like the fact that they're carrying on this feud, so, I mean, eventually Orton will have to put Barrett over, even if it wasn't a TLC. Maybe it'll happen at Royal Rumble, and that's an even bigger pay-per-view, so to say that you beat Orton at a fucking Royal Rumble match, to me, that would give Wade Barrett his steam back. I think it's the right decision to keep them feuding. I don't think this should have been a one and done. I would want to see this go for a long time, blow off maybe at Elimination Chamber right before WrestleMania, and then, you know, Barrett go on to even, you know, continue his ascent toward the world title at some point. I'm a Wade Barrett fan, so, you know, I have a lot of respect for what they're doing with him, putting him in a program, consistently featuring him on TV. I think it's a good idea. The Black Rose 1991 started this game where he's got like your WWE mascot for the next year or whatever for your channel. He picked Wade Barrett. It was a good pick. I'm gonna compete in this with him. I already picked Sheamus. Speaking of Sheamus, why are they putting him in something with Jinder Mahal? I think this is a downgrade, honestly. Granted, Christian is injured, but he's already done a fucking program with Christian. Like, they went their whole thing that they needed to go. They don't need to revisit that for another half a year. Sheamus has already beaten the guy. He should be moving up the card, not down. Why would you feud with a guy like Christian, somebody that can elevate you into a main event status, and then go into a fucking program with Jinder Mahal, with a guy that's losing to Great Khali, who isn't even fucking around anymore? Explain that to me, somebody. So, I mean, like, but even if it's piss poor booking, at least they're putting Sheamus on my television, and I think that that's a wonderful thing to feature Sheamus, because I believe he's going to be the next breakout babyface star. Just my personal thoughts. I see him being like a Batista 2.0 kind of character, to be honest. I like his work as a heel and as a face, but I think that he has more drawing power as a face. I think it's easier for people to get behind him, behind the whole Irish temper thing, and just, you know, working the crowd, and with the nickname the Great White, you know, it seems like it's drawing more of a babyface kind of mentality, and a reaction like that. So I would like to continue to see him be a good guy. I think that if they could get John Cena out of that fucking Raw title picture, that mess, that you know, between guys like CM Punk and Sheamus, that they have strung up baby faces to carry the company without Cena being in that fucking title scene, and that they should give Cena some time off, because honestly tonight, with him coming out and cutting that real lame shit promo, whatever he was trying to do, hyping up about, like I'm gonna see you Rock at WrestleMania. We fucking know, dude. We know. It was announced the day after WrestleMania 27. Nobody is denying the fact that you're gonna fight Rock at WrestleMania 28. We know. Survivor Series was all about you and Rock. Rock beat you. He rock bottomed you. Whatever. To come out and to start cutting stupid jokes and to start talking about Kane and how you definitely have a problem and you're gonna have to settle it, dude. Just ugh. I hate your character right now. It's so stale. Like, your whole gimmick is just bad. And I understand that that's not really John Cena's fault. WWE tells him how high to jump, where to go, how to piss, if he stands on one leg or not. So ultimately, point the blame at them, because they're the ones that are really dropping the ball with him. I think it's a fucking crying shame that they're not really, changing this guy's gimmick at all. I mean, he acknowledged himself, like, some people don't like me, and it was a stupid line, and he got booed fucking louder tonight with that Philly crowd than I think that he has anywhere else in the last couple of weeks. Last night, not having him on the pay-per-view, it should have sent a message, like, we're sick of him. At least this older crowd, us older fans. And if we're the big demographic, if we're the major people that buy these pay-per-views and the merchandise and all that shit, don't you think that you should, kind of listen to your heart and listen to, our opinions and put it all together and figure out that, he should take like 6 months off or something, just to not have him jammed up our fucking ass anymore. Just saying. Like I said, though, I don't disrespect John Cena. He does a lot. He's done the most Make-A-Wish fucking requests of any pro wrestler in history. That says a lot, like, and I'm a big Macho Man fan, like, Macho Man did a lot of that Make-A-Wish, Children's Hospital charity shit, too. And, I can really get behind somebody that does that. I want to be an educator when I grow up. I think it's all about kids. You should really put your best foot forward for them. Give everybody a fighting chance. If these kids are battling cancer or whatever, other life-threatening diseases, and it's their biggest wish to see their favorite pro wrestler, even if it is John Cena, which, I'm sorry for them, but maybe one day they'll grow up and they'll watch other great wrestlers. But point being, not to bash Cena, like, he really does a lot of good for that company, and if WWE took the fucking time to sit down and write a long-term program for him, they would maybe come to their senses that he's been used like shit. Just, this Superman thing, it should be done. Kane made him bleed tonight on TV. Did you see how fast they were to end that segment because it was getting to be violent? And God forbid John Cena get his ass kicked again on television. They took the camera away from him as soon as he started bleeding, like, from his lip. I thought Kane was going to choke slam him through the table. I thought that was dumb. I don't know why he, like, grabbed his nose or his lips and started choking him and shit. That was weird. Then he ripped his shirt off of him, which was even dumber. Like, what, are you taking a souvenir? I mean, like, I don't get it. So, but the main event tonight was really awesome, and I even liked Cody Rhodes versus Santino. Even though it was brief, Cody Rhodes, every time that he comes out, every time that he gets on the microphone, he looks like a champion to me, and I enjoy that, like, wholeheartedly. I think that he's the best thing going right now, honestly. They're the one that they haven't fucked him up like other people. So, they're doing a really good job, and I hope that he keeps his ascent, his transition into the main event. He's a very strong talent, and he needs to be used properly. This week I gave Raw, like, a B+, and, B+ is a good grade, honestly. Like, I give it like an 89.999, and the reason it's not like an A show is just because of, like, I really still feel like there's a lack of foresight and writing into the Royal Rumble, but maybe that'll come by in the next couple of weeks. We're approaching the time limit here, so, have a great night out there. Merry Christmas to all, and we'll see you next time.